Welcome back to the Art of Podcast. This week we forgot to plug in our microphones. The sound quality is going to be a bit of a jump scare. Just wanted to say that while we were editing this podcast, I realized it's not good. But the conversation was so enriching. It was so fun. Anyway.
So do not judge any of the books I don't think I read any like weird ones. So a lot of the books I get from fathers, since it completely destroys them. I didn't know that at first when I was doing it, so I lost some good books. But I just go to the library and there's like a free book bin. It's usually just like a bunch of religious books or something. So that's what my
two greatest forms of books.
That is what my flowers are drying.
She's got a wide range, guys.
Yeah, I can see they're like religious or smut. That's all that's in the free books.
I'm glad you said that. I would have looked over and I would have started judging you.
I don't know what this book is about. It seems interesting.
You open it up and it's just got like highlighted parts and notes. I've never read this book before. Like,
Hey, they're all used. So
yeah, right.
notes. It's not like
Sure. No, I believe you.
It's kind of cool with the black ones because they're actually just a super dark purple. So if you like hold it up to the light like this, you can see it. I love that. But I also have to do the black first usually because it's so pigmented. It'll get in like the glue and it'll like spread.
It'll dye the glue?
Yeah, it'll dye it purple. Like a real dark purple. And so if I'm like this painting around, smearing it, it'll smear purple on my white flowers. So I always like to say that, you know, like I don't use any paints of these because I don't like sometimes I'll do a little color correcting on the flowers. Sure. But even then I try not to, like there's something walking with the flower, I'm like I can use that.
Welcome back to the Art of Podcast. Today we have Rose Allen. Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Sure. So I do flower art. It's kind of like a mosaic with dried flowers. I started doing it about 3 years ago or so. But yeah.
Okay, and how did you get into this? Like, what prompted this? Because I feel like this is a medium that I've never seen before.
So I got a back surgery, and after that I was bedridden for 3 months. And during that time, like I was looking for something to do. I did a lot of art, but I was just like, flying through sketchbooks too fast because I had a lot of free time. And people kept bringing me flowers, and I was drying them, you know, just passing the time. So I had a bunch of dried flowers, and I was like, you know what, maybe I'm gonna use some of these. So I made my first one, and my first one, it was, it's faded a lot because I did not know what I was doing. Like the flowers, some of them are from like different gardens, the park across the street. But yeah, and I used Elmer's glue because I didn't know what I was doing and they faded so much. But that one, it was, the topic was beauty and it was like fading beauty. So it's kind of pretty that it's faded so much since then because it kind of adds to the piece.
Yeah. Okay, so you just had all of these flowers that people were getting to you. And have you seen anything like in the media that made you think you could do this? You just sat down, you dried them, you just came up with this idea yourself?
Well, I've always loved modern art that when it makes art out of something else, like art out of trash or art out of something. So when I saw the flowers, I was like, I love collages when people like cut up newspapers, so I could do the same. It's just a different medium. So definitely a lot of like modern art and collages is what I get most of my inspiration from.
And would you say you have any kind of like favorite flowers or
Maybe
I should have even waited to ask that question, but I've just been so curious.
Well, I mean, my name's Rose, so obviously that one's got a special place in my heart. But lupine, it's a wild flower, and I mean it can be grown too, but it's not as pretty as like the wild flowers. I love it so much. It's I don't know, it's so cute. I know it pops out of nowhere. I love that it grows here in Arizona.
What does it look like?
It kind of looks like lavender. Like a lot of times when people see it on Facebook, oh, it's lavender. But it's so yeah, it kind of has like that sort of shape. It's like purple or blue.
Okay.
Yeah, like I'll see it growing up the side of the road sometimes, and I'll stop and like pick some. Like,
That is so cool. So, what kind of pieces have you done with not just this flower, but just in general? Like,
I do a lot of birds. I'm doing a bird now. But I also like to do a lot of like portraits. Just anything that I don't know, it really depends on like the time in my life or like what's on my mind and whatever like gives me inspiration in the moment.
can you run me through like a favorite piece that you did and what that process looked like for you?
Well, I could go over the first one.
Yeah.
So for that one, the topic I was trying to do was beauty because I was reading a lot of different philosophy about it, and I was like, what do I think beauty is? And for me, I was kind of experimenting with why I thought flowers were beautiful, why I was doing that. And for me, beauty is what's temporary. It's why we find stuff like music so beautiful or sunsets. It's because they don't last. And I don't know, something about that is just super pretty. That's why flowers are so beautiful, like because they kind of bring you into the moment. And like they aren't gonna last, but they're so beautiful, and you know it's not gonna last, but like during that moment, it kind of centers you.
Beauty is temporary. Tell me what you mean by that.
Well, so like in that picture, I tried to put things that I found beautiful. So there's like a vase of flowers to kind of show like the flowers, which I was talking about. So he's playing a piano, and music, it doesn't last forever, which is also why I think it has beauty to it. And the girl in it, she's young, so like there's beauty in that, just like, you know, the different ages that we're at has beauty in it. And in the back there's a sunset. So just different things like that. Like, and my view since then has, you know, changed a bit, but I don't know, just like, it's hard to explain, I suppose.
Would you say you think that something temporal is beautiful because it helps you focus on the present?
Yeah.
And that's beautiful. Why is that important to focus on the present?
Well, I think especially in like this day and age, we get so lost in what's happening in the future, what's happened in the past, and we just forget like the stuff we can do now and what's presently happening. Because we don't always have control over what's in our future, or we definitely don't have much control of what's in our past. So to kind of realize that what you're doing now is important and can change a lot is what I think is good to focus on.
Do you think that was fueled at all by the start of this art journey? Just the fact that you were bedridden for a while and you just had a lot of time with your thoughts, and it's easy to think about the future and easy to think about the past, and so you're like, how do I stay in the present and find enjoyment?
Yeah, no, I was falling down so many different rabbit holes, and it was such a time of like self-growth for me that I was like, what am I doing with my life? I was so worried about the past, I was so worried about the future, and I was just like, I don't know what's happened, I don't know what I'm going to do, and like, I don't know, I need to figure out where I'm going, and I'm like, I don't know how to do that, because I felt like I had no direction. I was like, okay, well, I can focus on what I'm doing now, where I'm at, where I'm going, just like for today. So I tried to do anything during that time that I was stuck at home to think, to learn, to do something productive, which was difficult. I think part of it was because during like COVID, we were all stuck at home.
Right.
And during that time, at first, you know, you were like, oh my gosh, it's so nice to have so much free time to clean my room and to exercise, and then you're like, why am I doing this? And no one's coming over. I ain't going anywhere.
Right.
So I didn't want to fall back into that. And I was like, I'm gonna have 3 months of this. I can do something good with it. So I don't know, I just wanted to make sure I didn't fall back into that state of like, none of this matters. Because I wasted so much time doing that, just like doom scrolling on my phone or stuff, just trying to make the time pass. So I wanted to really focus myself on the time there and what I could be doing so I started like studying a lot, learning a lot for school, and yeah, just doing anything that could kind of help me, even in any way in my life, like reading books about gardening, reading books that I just like to read. But like my main goal was just like stay off my phone. Not that I completely did that, but just to find that. And like, but I wasn't working on art or reading. I was probably watching a Batman movie.
Well, I like what you said about like not like trying to use your time instead of pass your time. And I think that's really important for people to hear about artists working on their craft, because I know I talked to my brother on the phone and he's just like, you must get so lethargic when you work on your art. Your life is so, easy, whatever. And I think it is important because as individuals, in order to feel fulfilled, we need that sense of accomplishment. Can you tell me how this craft that you work on helps you feel that? Maybe some like deeper underlying concepts that you've been able to think about and resonate with while you work.
I think just being able to express feelings and ideas that I've had so much more. I'm not much of a painter, and I have struggled with putting my ideas on paper or in a piece for a long time because I haven't had the artistic talent to do that. So when I first started doing this and the picture turned out better than I thought, I was pretty happy with it, because I was like, oh, I can make art that I like, that I feel happy with, and that I'm not just like, I did this slightly wrong. Like it's different, and I don't know. I haven't seen a ton of art like this, or really not much of anything. Like I've seen a couple things here and there. So it kind of helps me also not get into my head too much, because sometimes I'll like try oil painting and I'm like, oh, there's so many great painters out there, and I thought this was good, and then I look at it and like I just get into my head too much is what I do.
Yes. So would you say that this is an art form where you can kind of take the pressure off?
Yeah, because most people haven't seen it, so like they're just like,
there's no real expectation.
No, there's none. So people just see it and
love
like,
that.
oh, it's flowers. Like they aren't like, oh, well, I've seen this flower art piece, and
Yes.
what do you think of this? Or like, have you tried to do something like this? No one talks to me about that.
Which
They're
is so important too.
It's so nice because it lets you let loose. And since then, like I've been able to go back to other art mediums, and I'm just like, who cares if I'm doing something different? If I'm doing something the same, like if it's something I love and something that I'm just like focused on either personal growth or what I'm painting, then that's, I don't know, it's helped me kind of put that into a different perspective and stop like, and also like helps me appreciate other art more.
Yes. I think that's so important. Not just I know it's so important. I mean, I just read all these like artist self-help books, right? And just how to be an artist and how to blah 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 like an artist, And one of the things that always comes back up is take the pressure off. You read little quotes from Picasso and it's, it took me 13 years to paint like a master and the rest of my life to paint like a child. And it is so important to take that pressure off. And I think when you can find an art form, or even just like that mindset that helps you break away from this has to be my next masterpiece, or even this has to meet other people's expectations.
Yeah. No, for
You
sure.
can unlock so much. That's really interesting. Okay, so I feel like I do want to ask more just about you. I always just like skip over that. Can you tell us a little bit about you as a person?
Well, I love gardening. I love reading, as I mentioned before. But yeah, just anything with plants and nature, I've always loved. Like, my dad always taught me to garden when I was younger, so I'd always help him. I'd honestly use that as an excuse to kind of just, like, play in the mud. But, like, really learned a lot from him. Like, my great-grandpa, he has, like, a gardening schedule that, like, I still use sometimes. That's really helpful, especially here, because it's hard to grow stuff here.
Yes. So what do you think it is about just nature then that you connect to?
Well, there's so much that's so beautiful about it. And just like a peace that you feel when you're in it. And it also, back to what I was talking to about like mindsets, like it helps you clear your mind. It helps you I don't know. I mean, you know, like people say to step outside and touch grass. Yeah, like I need to do that more because it's so good for me, and like it's, I don't know, it's always helped me kind of collect myself if I'm feeling stressed out, especially being by water. It's really helpful. Or feeding ducks.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I mean, it's something that's lasted so long. And it's kind of a way that time has kind of always stayed consistent. Like plants, yeah, they've changed a little over time, but like the general stuff hasn't changed.
Right.
Like trees have been around, water, like it's all been consistent. It's a way that we can kind of forget, like, where we are.
And do you think we can just learn something from that?
Absolutely. Like, I don't know, I think some of our best thoughts are when we're not surrounded and not overthinking so many different things. And we have a quiet place, whether that's in nature, whether it's in your home or anything. I think you can do so much then and really just process things or just think.
I love that. I'm interested in your thought of, I mean, you made a comment where you're like, it's been around forever. Why is that important? Why is that something that we should draw from? What is the significance of that, and what does that mean to you?
Well, that's a good question. Well, I think it comes from, I don't know, just like humanity, like we're all like God's creations, and I think that not forgetting that and remembering what we are and who we are, really, I don't know, just it centers us in that, and realizing that like, yeah, we've created a lot as people, which is amazing, but also remembering the beauty in small things that we don't think about it as much anymore. Like gardening, it was like, that's a huge thing. Like we're able to grow food. Like that's pretty amazing. Like this from dirt and seeds. So like stuff like that can sometimes get forgotten when we see like bigger inventions. But I don't know, like just getting tied back that we will always use that and I think we should always have appreciation for something like that.
When we're able to connect to our roots better, we're able to understand our humanity
For sure.
better. I really like that. I've never thought about that before. So before this, you told me that you come from a family full of artists.
Yeah.
Can you tell me maybe how that has influenced you at all?
Well, my mom's always been a huge inspiration for me. She does a lot more crafty stuff. She does a lot of crochet, and I don't know, just the way she does like that sort of art and stuff is really cool because she's never done it for money. She's never done it for anything. Like she does it because she loves it. Because she wanted something to do. She wanted, I don't know, a useful way to fill her time that she could help other people. Like she'll make baby blankets, she'll make contact and stuff. And I think that's, I don't know, there's something like really sweet about that. Because like it's just the way she makes use of her time when she's like watching a movie and stuff.
Yeah.
Just, it's a way to be productive but also like express yourself, and I don't know, I think that's cool.
Does that inspire you?
Oh, for
at
sure.
all?
Like, it reminds me like even if I need like downtime, I can still be doing something that means something.
What would you say your big inspirations are? And it can just be as simple as I saw something, or I really like ducks, or I love the way that flowers grow, and so it makes me want to create a piece. But what is it that inspires you to want to create?
A lot of nature. Like most of my art has all been like, there's not a lot of man-made things. There are things that I've seen in like day-to-day life, or things that sometimes get overlooked. Like just like a vase of flowers. Like it's, I don't know, it's something they're pretty, and like we look at it a little when we like pass by and we're like, oh, that's cute, but like, I don't know, I think sometimes just taking time to just stop and notice the things around you, notice the people around you, you can just, I don't know, see a lot.
And why is that important? To notice the people and the things around you.
There's so much in our lives that get overlooked. People that we've spent like our whole lives with, we can constantly be learning new things about if we just take the time to do it. And a lot of times we don't. Like, I don't know, I've grown up with my family the whole time, but you know, I'm still learning new things about my sisters. I'm still learning new things about my parents. I'm still learning new things about like my fiance. And I mean, obviously but yeah, like people I've known forever, I still feel like I've barely gotten to know them because there's so much that like makes up a person.
Yeah, that's so important. For me, I've always thought the main reason we're here on Earth, or like one of my biggest reasons, is to learn from each other. And my biggest passion is not painting, as a lot of people might believe, but my biggest driving force for everything I do is connection with people. I've always thought it's so important to just be able to connect with your fellow person, and I think it's just to be able to touch humanity. Especially in this day and age, it's so easy to get disconnected from the people around you and to make it weird to want to talk to the person in your taxi cab who you're strangers with, or weird to want to reach out to somebody you don't know. But it's so important in my mind because, like you said, you can learn so much from those people, which enriches your life. But I think it is our purpose to enrich one another's lives. And yeah, and there's something so important about being fellow humans here on Earth and having relationships with each other. And so when you tell me things like nature is important because it helps you think about humanity, it takes you back to your roots and it reminds you that you're human and that things have grown far before you were born and they'll grow far after you die, and just like everybody else, we're all human, and that's true for everybody. Yeah, I love that. I think that's so wise.
But I think to expand on what you're saying as well is I think we're here to love. Like, I know that's corny, and you know, people are like, you don't love crackers on it, sounds really corny, but I don't know, I really do believe that. I believe that's why we're here. Like, that's another thing, that's part of our roots. Like, we've loved each other, we've far from the beginning. So that's another thing that we just, I don't know, things like that are what lasts beyond us, what lasts for us. It's like there's a reason those things don't go away, because it's made up who we are.
How do you feel that has fueled what you do on your day-to-day, that mindset?
I mean, it helps me put in more things to perspective, like what's important in my life, like why I spend time doing some things and not others, why I value the things that I do, why I'm like, well, I should read more, I should learn more, because there's so much that, I don't know, I think I still have to learn, and I'll never get to learn if I like waste my time. It's like not saying I don't do that, because really no, I do, but there's just so much that I know I'd like to still understand.
I like that. So can you tell me a little bit about what your day looks like, just so we can get a better idea?
Now?
Yeah.
Well,
Into who you are.
Well, I start my day with work, like most people. I work at Target. I really like it there. It's nice. Treat me good.
Oh yeah.
Mostly because when I go to work, I go to work pretty early. My shift starts at 4 a.m., which means like I don't live very close to it right now. So
4 in the morning. Oh
yeah.
my
And you know, I wasn't a morning person before this, so I've had to learn.
Girl.
But it is so nice because you know what? I go to work, nobody's there because we don't open until 8.
Right.
I go about to my shift at 8.
Yeah.
So and everybody walks in, I slip out, and I fall asleep. I wake up and it's like I never went to work, and it's like I slept until 10, and then
But
I
you
wake
got
up.
that money.
Yeah, and then I have a day off after I wake up at 10. It's like I just slept in.
That's too good, actually.
Yeah, so like when people are like, "Oh, you have the money shift," I'm so sorry. I'm like, I hope it lasts.
All right.
It's nice, and during that time, it's no one talks. You want to talk at 4 a.m.?
Right.
Who does?
Right.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, there are some people I'm like, oh, bless your heart. But yeah, so it's such quiet time. I'm just stocking the shelves, and it's quiet time that I can think about art, think about life. But which is just nice. Like just having some quiet time to reflect
Yes.
is really good.
Okay, so we've got work. We've got go back to sleep. What we do?
Hey, we gotta catch up on sleep.
No,
gotta work
that's
on that.
so me.
And of course, planning a wedding.
Oh yes, that's very exciting.
Oh, for sure.
How'd you meet your fiance?
We met country dancing.
Yeah?
Mhm.
Is that like a big scene here in Arizona?
Oh, I think so.
Really? I didn't know
I'm
this.
probably biased.
It's huge.
I'm like, oh, girl, it's the biggest thing I've ever experienced. And I'm like, I see so many people here
Right.
playing country dances. So probably not, but there are a lot of country dance places, and I think, like, I don't know, it's so fun, and like, it's a really good way to get to know somebody.
Yes.
Something about dancing was like, I don't know, because like you can meet them, but once you start like learning little cues from somebody, like you learn things that can't be spoken. That I
Yes.
think is kind of cool.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah. Just all the little physical cues.
Also, like, I've been on like a lot of like dancing dates and stuff, and sometimes like you think someone's great, but they won't drop a little control when they're dancing, so you don't dance well together. And you're like, okay, they just need to like take a step back and like let me follow.
Right.
And also like as a follow for dancing, I sometimes take the lead, especially if I like those.
Absolutely.
I'm like, oh, we're just gonna be dancing
Yes.
circles and
Let me help us
I'm
both
like,
out.
let me teach you a little trick, like pretending like I know anything.
All right.
But it's like, okay, I'm just gonna teach you like a basic spin, so we aren't just like standing here.
Mhm.
And some people are willing to learn that, and they're like, oh yeah, I would love to learn. And others are like, just teach me how to dance. And I'm like, okay, that's
Okay,
fine.
mama.
That's fine, but we ain't dancing again.
Okay, so we've got dancing. What are some other hobbies we don't know about Rose?
I'm trying to think. I'm really not all that interesting. But stargazing. I love stars.
Really?
Mhm.
Tell me about that.
I mean, I've always loved mythology and stories with stars. Like I said, it comes back to like just getting back to like the roots of things.
Mm-hmm.
And constellation stories have always been fascinating to me because across different cultures, there will be similar stories for the same constellations, but those cultures would have no like connection to each other. So it's super interesting. Like especially with constellations like Pleiades, it's like it's like 7 stars. I'm probably gonna get this story all wrong, so don't judge me too hard. But in some cultures, it's like the 7 sisters, and they were chased by a war, and then they were raised up on a mountain and brought into the sky to be protected. And in others, it's like the 7 daughters of Atlas, and it's like the same sort of story.
Yeah.
Where it's like across like continents, they have the same constellation with the same story, basically. Which is just, I don't know, I just find that fascinating.
I actually love
Why is
that.
it the
Yeah. Why was this story so important that it just
Yeah.
stayed the
Like-
same after so many years?
Also, how did it stay the same? Like, it kind of makes me wonder, like, there has to be some sort of connection.
Right.
Like, I'm not sure what that is, but there has to be something there that I'm missing. And, like, the way that stuff survives over time is really cool, too. I mean, even if it's, like, came from the same story and was changed up later, like, how stories get retold or are, like, preserved.
Yes. Interesting.
And, like, speaking of swans, my favorite constellation is Cygnus Swan.
Oh yeah.
So cute, I freaking love that. And that one, I've heard it tied to the story of Orpheus in mythology. So, I don't know, which is also one of my favorite myths. And, like, it's a swan. Like, swans are just cute creatures, so I wanted to paint one today.
Mm-hmm.
was just like rereading that myth, and I was like, I gotta do Swan. I've done a Swan before, but I haven't finished that one yet. But I will soon. I keep telling myself that. I've been working on that one for like
No, that
2
definitely
years.
is something I'm very familiar with.
like I started it 2 years ago, and it's almost done. It just has like this tiny little section, and I just and you know what color I need for it? Green. You know how easy that is to find? It's everywhere.
Right.
And yet I haven't gotten to it. But
Yeah, that is so real, honestly.
no, it gets so easy to like put aside projects, which I do so much, but I wish I didn't. Because there were so many times when I started art, or like a painting or something, or a project, and then if like the feeling builds or I can't connect with it anymore, I can't finish it.
Mm-hmm.
And like I can't force myself to finish something that I no longer have a connection to. And then I like look at it and I'm like, I wish I could finish this, but I'm not who I was when I started.
What is that?
I know.
Yeah.
Well, you grow so much, and then you especially if it's something that you made based on experience, you might process that experience and then you're like, I can't make this anymore. I don't have that same feeling. I don't have that strange, strong passion with it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, talk to me more about that, because I totally understand what you're saying, but I never have been able to like, I don't know, for me, it's tricky too when you like do commissions or you have I went to art school, so you have professors being like, no, you have to finish this or you're going to fail it.
I'm just like, ugh.
And it's like, man, I was so passionate when I first started, when the idea first came to my mind, and the longer I do this, I feel like it's just easy to even change so quickly in a matter of days, in a matter of, it doesn't matter how long, but sometimes you just have to get over it. Like, how do you navigate that?
Well, it depends. So when I was in high school, I hated my art class.
Really?
Well, it was
I did too.
It was my worst grade.
Really?
And it was Art 1. I was funny thing. I was stuck in Art 1 like 6 times. Because of like middle school, I was always in Art 1, like every semester. And I was like, you guys realize I've taken this before. And then I got to high school and I'm like, okay, whatever, keep putting me in Art 1. Who cares? I will never move on to Art 2. One of my teachers, bless her heart, she was sweet most of the time. She did not like me, but I was always losing points for assignments. Like there was a mixed media project, and she's like, you use too many mixed medias.
You're lying.
No, she used it for the art show, and she gave me a D. But I'm like, well, also the idea for that one, she's like, you have to do a social issue, and I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. So I did mine on domestic violence, and she's like, no, you have to. She's like, that's not a real social issue. And I'm like,
gang,
like,
what? Can somebody clip that?
I'm like looking around, like, that's not a real social issue. Domestic violence isn't a problem.
Right. What are we saying here?
And she's like, well, you can say it's feminism, and I'm like, honey, no.
That's even worse.
And
You're
I'm
gonna
like-
say that's feminism?
And I'm like, it's not just that. I'm like, little kids getting abused. Like, you don't have to be a woman to get abused.
Right. I feel like that's pretty sexist just to say that.
Yeah, and I was like, she was like, so if you say that like that, I'll do great. I'm like, I can't do it. Like,
Oh my gosh.
so, but yeah, so it was just a fun class, and also there was like, okay, there was a self-portrait, and I was like, I don't want to do this.
Yes.
I just not a huge fan. So we were just like learning about proportions, and so I do my self-portrait, and she's like, it looks like you, but it's not proportional, and I'm like, well, yeah, I don't got like average person proportions on everything.
Right.
Like I got some big ears. And I was like, like if I made it completely proportional, it wouldn't look like this. She's like, yeah, but you're not proportional.
Whoa.
So, and I'm like, so I lost points because I'm not proportional?
Oh.
She's like, yes.
That's insane.
Bless her heart. She, like I said, sweet lady most of the time.
Sure. Girl, you can be a sweet lady and still a high school art teacher. I was the same way. Nobody bashes on their high school art classes enough for my taste. Because it was the same thing with me.
I've had some great ones who've like really helped me, but I don't know. There's something that just take the joy out of it. But a good art teacher, like,
Oh
they're
my
so
gosh.
amazing. Like it makes such a difference. Like it makes you love art.
Yes.
Like I don't know. Especially not when they just like. I don't like when they just like praise your work. Like, oh yeah, that's great. But if they're like, this is new, you've changed this, or like you're really excited about
Did
this.
you have an art class like that?
I did. She was a really sweet lady, and she really helped me like love art.
What was that like?
Well, she would give me
How's it been?
pointers and stuff. Funny thing, she never praised my art ever, and it was kind of nice sometimes because I was like, okay, she's like, if I worked hard on something, she'd praise the effort, but she would never. She would never
the work.
No, she wouldn't. She'd be like, you spent more time on this, you put more thought into it, even if it was one that like didn't look as good. But she would notice the work I put into things more than the actual work itself. Even if she didn't see the work I was putting into it, somehow she'd know. And so she was just a really cool art teacher.
I love that. Yeah, I think that makes all the difference because it's all about the confidence you have in yourself, especially as a young artist, right? You have to have that. But I think that's the beauty of it too, where you can like just be criticized so that you can improve. And I know I did have an art teacher who was just like, it was in a bookmaking class and all she did was praise. And it was a pretty unstructured class too, and that might be good for some people. It was never really good for me. I think I just used it as a giving class and just slacked off in that class the whole time because I knew I could get away with it, which is my own fault. That's not her fault. To be clear, that is not on her. That is definitely on me. Yeah, but I just felt like I never got better at that because of that. So I love that.
So I'm curious. So you were talking about how you were doing that painting of your grandpa, and I wasn't curious about who this is in the painting.
Yes. So this is my maternal grandmother. This is my mom's mom, and she's actually pregnant with my mother in this photo. I didn't know that until after I started painting.
That's so cute.
Isn't that so cool?
Like coincidence.
Yeah, right? Just so fun. But recently I kind of found out this grandmother of mine, it was my grandma Mendez. She had a disease called Huntington's, and it's basically a mix of like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's and like super high metabolism, and since you can't stop moving around, you like get bruises all over your body. Anyway, so they call it like the zombie disease for a nickname, and it just totally changes you. You just lose everything that makes you look human and act human, but your brain is still pretty intact. So you're kind of in this shell of like a prison, which is your body, you know, but you still have your mind there. So horrible, horrible disease. This whole painting is not about my grandmother. It's not a tribute to my grandmother. It's not anything like that. It's supposed to be a piece of identity and how disease like breaks away identity, because I did meet my grandmother. She passed away when I was like 16 years old, so she was very active in my life too. I always knew she loved my siblings and me. But I never met this woman that you see in the painting, right? This picture was taken around my age, when she was my age. And yeah, and I don't recognize this woman at all. I'd say the only way I recognize her is I like see my little sister's facial features in it, you know?
I'm kind of like you too.
You think so?
No, I thought it was you when I first walked in.
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
I didn't think she had a kid.
That's crazy. Yeah, well, that's the first time I've ever gotten that, but it's quite the compliment. I remember I picked out this photo because I thought she was so beautiful in it. But yeah, I don't recognize my grandmother in this photo for sure, and that is such an interesting concept to me. When we look at, because I told you, the thing I'm most passionate about more than anything else in this world is our relationships with people. How we view each other, how we treat each other, like that is everything to me. And so what is it about disease that like changes who you are as an individual in regards to other people's perception of you, right? And so I don't have an answer to that. That's just something I've been dealing with as I'm coming to terms with this whole, my mother has this disease, now I have a 50% chance of having the same disease, and like, what does that look like for my life? So that's just been something I've been trying to figure out through this painting. I don't know, do you have any
Any thoughts or any experiences like that?
It does kind of remind me of back what we were saying about why sometimes we can't finish art pieces, because once you finish and like once you toss it something like this, it's hard to finish it and like go back to that. But I think on my personal experience with that, I mean, I told you I had spine surgery when I was 16. I was told I had scoliosis, and I was like, you know, who doesn't? Like, everyone, my mom and the woman, has scoliosis. I'm like, yeah, that's not a big deal. I'm like, what if I could pop my rib cage out 3 inches in the back? I'm like, yeah, doesn't that hurt? I'm like, yeah, it's not bad. So like, they got some X-rays, and they're like, yeah, listen, if you don't get the surgery, you're gonna die. And I'm like, ooh, so it's bad,
Right.
and I was like, well, that takes away so much because I was a dancer. I was like, I really, yeah. And I was like, I don't want to lose that. Like, there's so much in dance where you have to move your back, move and move your hands. And I thought, yeah, that's gotta be used to that. I'm like, and I'm gonna have like chronic pain for the rest of my life. Like, I'm still, you know, like, what am I gonna do? Like who am I outside of this? And also during that time, I wasn't the most fun to be around. Like my friends, like it was hard for them to see me like that, so a lot of times they would avoid it. So I felt very lonely. I was really just struggling to come to terms with everything, and obviously I did have a lot of support in that still. Like my brother was a huge part in that. Like he would visit me all the time, always check up on me, always bring me flowers. My family also super amazing, and I was just like, why is this happening? Like, what can I and of this? And I was really angry at the time. I was like, why would this happen to me? And I don't know. But looking back, that was the time in my life that had the most growth, and I'm so grateful it happened. Really, like it's kind of odd when we like in the moment where I don't know. It's really hard to appreciate when bad things happen to us because they're like, this sucks. I can win with some other way, but. I think something I try to remember with that is in the same way that when we tell other people our experiences, they don't quite fully get it. We couldn't just be told these lessons. We have to live through it. And it's the only way we can learn. And if you also think about the experiences in your life that made you who you are and really you grew the most in, they weren't the good ones. Like, they weren't when you were all comfy, living your best life, like, no, there were the times where you hated life and you were like, why am I here? But those make you who you are, and we grow so much from them. Like, if I just lived comfortably and I never had anything bad happen to me, I don't think I'd like who I was. Like I've had so much I need to grow and so much I still need to grow that I don't know, it's really interesting how you look back later on like those experiences and you're like, I did need that, and it's good that ended up happening because I learned so much that I could have learned otherwise. Ugh. But it is easy in the moment to get really lost in things like that and just, I don't know. And if people you like love had those things happen, it's really hard to see because they do change. They change sometimes who they are, how they look, and it breaks your heart a little because these are truly numb. And a lot of times during times like that, people just show us so strong. I remember my grandmother before she passed. I thought she was the strongest person ever. She was so confident. She was like I'm not, and she had a can in the world. Like this woman was. She was a boss. and then I found her diary and I read, and I never knew so much about her. I like everything I knew about her. I had no idea what was going on. No idea what she was going through. No idea how much she was struggling with. And I just always assumed that she just had everything figured out because she always seemed so strong. And which is why I think it's so important to notice things in the people around us, because there's so many people in your own life that are struggling. And you don't know because you just won't look. And I don't know, so I'm trying to make more of an effort now in my life to look and mouth what people look.
So how do you go about your life and notice those things and notice changes in people you love and bad changes? I mean, just inherently bad changes without letting it consume you? Do you just remind yourself, this is gonna grow your character? Like,
Well, I think that's kind of be a terrible way to console someone.
Right.
Like somebody's like, yeah, you know, my dog just died, and you're like, this'll grow, refresh your things. No one wants to hear that.
right.
I think, no, for times like that, you need to be sad with the person. You need to mourn with them. Like, you need to, like, if someone's crying and they're having a hard time, you don't need to be like, oh, this is gonna be good thing, and no, you need to mourn. You aren't gonna get over it. I guess you're gonna just, like, be like, well, it's gonna be okay then.
Right.
No, you need to let yourself be sad. You need to give yourself time. You need to be upset. You need to cry. Like, it's, like, we're not supposed to just shut out all feelings. Like, that's not how you get rid of them. They're just gonna get worse. And for noticing those things in the people around you, I think a lot of times, at least for me, what helps me most is to stop looking at myself. Because I do that a lot. I think so much, I will just be thinking, and I'm like, oh, well, I have it so hard because of this and this and this, and I completely overlook other people. Because I'm, like, feeling so much self-pity, and like, oh, well, this is none of my crap. Why am I not focusing on other people?
Yeah.
Because it helps me get over my stuff by helping someone else do theirs.
Mm-hmm.
And just being able to sit with somebody when they're upset, being able to help others. And that's what helped me the most when I was, like, recovering from expensive. I was, like, I know it wasn't all that big, but I think it was for me. And for that, I was like, well, I just felt like I was less of a person because of it.
Yeah.
I felt like I couldn't dance anymore. I felt like I was less valuable because I wasn't the same person who I was, and I still believed in that. And I was like, why, you know, like, what is my worth? And to do that, I wasn't what I needed to do. I just needed to stop wallowing in my own self-pity. So I took up, like, a little volunteer job just at, it's called House of Refuge. It's a really cute place. And I just, like, started working with, like, the kids in there, and, like, they were so positive, and they had some terrible, terrible circumstances. And I was like, I am so busy, like, wallowing, and I am bored. I spent my time, and it is time to move on. And honestly, helping other people and noticing other people was what helped me the most. Because it helped heal from both sides. So I think for a lot of that, if we're so lost, like, we will always have stuff going on in our lives. We will always have stuff stressing us out. It doesn't mean other people don't either. And it doesn't mean you have to, like, sacrifice everything to just, like, to help somebody else out. Like, you gotta make sure you're taking care of yourself too, of course. But to not get so caught up in our own lives and what we're busy with, that's how we see people. And it's not like it's hard. It's not like you have to know a bunch about psychology or know a bunch about your, I don't know, just, like, learning or just stopping and looking is really what can just help you notice those things. It doesn't take a lot.
Yeah, you're kind of a saint to talk to. No, I mean it. I'm serious. I think that's so important, and it is so easy to forget.
What about you? What do you say, like, I don't know, when you think about the things that, like, helped you grow most in life? Like, how do you think those affected you? Or
Oh,
if you don't mind sharing some, you don't have to. Or just, like,
I'm not gonna lie, when you were like, yeah, think about the things that have changed you for the better. It's the bad ones.
they are.
I, like, felt a little bit of anger in my chest when you said that, because I'm like, you're right.
It's hard to
You're
accept.
right, but it's so true. And honestly, when I find myself in new situations, and to be clear, not anger toward you, but like, yes,
I understand.
it's true, and it's.
Well, and it's not something you feel in the moment. When something's bad happening to you, you are like, thank goodness. Like,
But maybe we should be,
probably.
you know?
And I think a lot of times it's so easy to be like, why is there bad in the world? Like, why? Like, how can we accept this? Like, it would be so much better if it was all utopia, but, you know, we wouldn't.
And how can
we
we?
wouldn't grow.
By saying that we can grow.
Yeah, like, we can do so much from that, using our experiences and helping others. It's not to completely ignore those bad things that are happening. It's to process them right and help other people through theirs as well.
And that is a part of the growth process.
For
is
sure.
learning how to grieve and learning how to process. I really like that.
Like, the best way to heal from your own things is to help someone else too. Like, obviously, don't overstep boundaries. Don't be like, I am going to fix all your problems. But, you know, like, just looking at other people around you and being like, well, you know, how can I help this person? Like, and it can be from the simplest things. like, you know, even just at work, like talking to someone who doesn't have, like, who doesn't talk a lot at work, and just like being a friend, like it doesn't take a lot. Like we don't always have the ability to like go bring someone dinner and to like do a bunch to go out of our way, but sometimes it's the little things that we appreciate most. Like just having someone who says hi to us every morning, someone just happy to see us can really make a difference.
Yes.
Like, I don't know, I have coworkers and when they smile and they see me, I'm like, oh, stop. I'm like, okay.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know, it's so there's something about that that's just, I don't know.
And as humans, we crave that humanity, that connection.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I love that. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I think just this morning I was thinking about something that had made me upset, and then I draw on old situations where it's okay. I learned the hardest lesson of my life in college, and it was how to set boundaries. For the first time in my life.
That was a rough one.
Oh my gosh, yeah, and
especially the first time.
Yes, and it's so old too, you know, like I just gone through my life with only dime people ever, you know, and I didn't meet a single person who made me uncomfortable till I was in college, right? And then, yeah, I had to like actually learn how to set boundaries and change the way I viewed relationships and, you know, yeah, but it wasn't until that horrible, horrible situation where I was just like crying myself to sleep that I was able to make one of the biggest changes I've ever made in my life. And to this day, you know, I was just thinking about it this morning and I was able to draw on that experience and be like, okay, what did I learn from this experience? How can I use it?
Yeah, and
to
also
make me
those helping you value things. Like, you're married now, and I imagine like that experience, it helps you appreciate more things with your husband, because you're
Absolutely.
like, he's a great guy, he treats me well, and I can appreciate these things.
Oh,
because
absolutely.
I've been through like this crappy thing. Like, that's why I'm with my fiance. Like, he's so good to me because I've had those experiences. I can appreciate that. Like, if I just had good things happen in my life, I wouldn't realize what an amazing person I have next to me.
You know, you are just so intelligent. Like, I really do enjoy. No, I'm serious.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, these are just such simple truths that I think we're so quick to complicate.
But I think that's everything in life. We're always quick to complicate things. We always like try to look in the nitty-gritty of philosophy, and we're like, oh, well, how do we understand this? How do we understand this? Like, what is love? Like, what is all this? And it's like, what if it's not that complicated? What if we're just overcomplicating it because we don't like the truth, or because sometimes it's hard? We don't want to accept that we have to go through bad things. We don't want to accept that. So to like, I don't know, just kind of sometimes take a step back and just look at things from a different perspective, which was something about art. Because you're always changing your perspectives. With each piece you make, you're looking at it differently. You're looking at the world differently.
Absolutely.
You're just trying to understand it differently. Like, with this, it's definitely a different perspective from what you've had from other art, and it helps you realize more about yourself, more about others, and understand connections more. Which is why I think art, in at least some form, I think everyone should have, at least do something. Like, it doesn't have to be art if you don't have if you don't find this fun, like, it's okay. Like, if you'd rather do writing, then I think that's amazing.
Right.
Because it has to be something that you love.
But that is art, right?
Absolutely.
At the end of the day.
There's so much that's art that people are like, oh, well, you know, it's not really art. Like, gardening, that's art.
It is. Yeah, what is art? And that is the age-old question that doesn't have a real answer to it, right? But I think it does come down to just expression in an important way. You know, because you
it's just expressing something that's inward on that side. And you know, like, I ain't no philosopher. What do I know? But I don't know, like, I think for stuff like art, like dance, you're just expressing emotions, expressing something that can't be seen. That is what art is to me. Because there's so many things that I can't express with words that other people could, but even then, even with words, you can't express it perfectly, which is, we're just trying to express a piece of it. Just to give someone just a tiny glimpse of understanding of what we see and what we feel.
And why is that important?
Because of connection. Like you were saying, because of love. We want people to understand us. We want to have connections with other people. And for that, we want to express ourselves and have people be connected with us too. It's not just a one-way street. We have to be a little vulnerable sometimes.
How do you think that mindset has influenced you as an artist?
it's definitely changed some of the topics of my art. Really. Yeah, because sometimes I don't want to make a piece because I'm like, it's a little too personal, especially anyone that's like a sort of self-portrait. I'm like, I don't want to draw myself.
Right.
And most of the times, it's kind of funny, a lot of the self-portraits I've done were by accident. It's because I take my own reference photos.
Yes.
Like, it's hard to find, like, photos. Like, I don't want to steal somebody else's art, so I'm just like, okay, I'm having my family members pose, I pose, and then like, obviously it's gonna look like me because I'm drawing me.
Right.
I know there are other ways to get reference photos, so I'm always like I'll have a friend that'll be like, could you pose in this way? So
Right.
draw you.
Wait, you look great on the couch real quick. Stay right there.
Yeah, don't move. I'm like, Rose, you're being weird. I'm
No.
like, I know, I sound so freaking creepy right now.
I'm gonna just take some pictures.
I know, like, let me take a picture. I need to pick this.
Right.
Like, girl, what are you doing? I'm like, no, now you look awkward. And they're like, stop. Sorry.
I promise I'm chill to hang out with guys. I promise.
No, for sure. Which is why I think animals are so much easier because you can there's so many different photos, and like I know they're all different and they all like their own, but like you can use so many different reference photos for those, and it's much easier.
Well, I'm curious. This is a little bit of a jump, but it keeps coming to mind. Like, because I feel like so many of your references, so many of the things that you do are just different. It's not all people. It's not all animals. It's like, I don't know. It's just so diverse. Can you tell me, and this could be totally different from what I just said, but can you tell me what you are passionate about? What sparks passion in you?
We've been talking a lot about roots of things, and I don't know, when I look back at my art, they're all something like that. Like, I don't think I've ever just painted like a still life of like a fruit bowl or something. Not saying that there's not beauty in it, or that there's not stuff like to be learned, but for me in my art, I need to, there has to be something alive, something, I don't know, something that, they're all connected in some way, something I find beautiful in some way. Like, all my art, it's all been like a bird or a person, or I don't know, it's just something. And, it depends on like what I'm trying to express or what I'm thinking about. But I don't know, I guess just all back to roots or stuff like that. Like I don't paint cityscapes, not saying that they're not beautiful or that they shouldn't be painted, but for me it's not something I can connect to as much.
What you find beautiful, most beautiful, is living things.
Yeah, living things, stuff that's like the stuff that we can't always recreate. Stuff that's not completely man-made,
I like that, yeah. And finding a way to make it man-made,
Yeah, I mean, taking something that's not human and expressing it in a human way. It's kind of cool, like a cool concept.
Ooh, I love that. That's so cool. Okay, so back to just a little more surface level things. Can you tell me kind of like flowers you use? I know you mentioned you have your own garden. Like, what are you looking for when you're like, oh, I need that for creating one of my pieces?
Hardest flowers to find, blue flowers.
Really?
Yeah. Like next time you're like out flower shopping, look around. When you look at the flower section, you're like, oh my gosh, they have all the colors. And you know what they do for blue? They put it in the wrapping. What the flowers are wrapped in, they have like little blue stickers and stuff on it. Like, oh, you trick me.
Yes.
So,
Oh, you trick me.
no, it drives me nuts. So when I find a place with blue flowers, I'm like, oh my god, this is so good.
Neat.
And I'm like, this is amazing. And I just get so excited. And it helps me appreciate little things in life more. Like we will be at the side of the road and I'll be, there's a blue flower. And once my brother, bless his heart, he got out of the car and like keep in mind I was driving, like we were stopped at a light.
Are you
going on to
kidding
the
me?
freeway, and he hops out, picks the flower, and gets back in the car. I'm like, why? You can't be doing that.
Oh my god.
Like I love you, and that is so sweet. But yeah, like he has such a good heart.
Yes.
But yeah, like, but it just, you notice more things. Like I look at flowers completely different now. Like noticing little characteristics. And so when I plant my garden, I plant more unique flowers. Like some of the flowers I have over here, like these ones, it's a black flower, and
You can show them.
oh great. So, and with black flowers, obviously they're not very common. It's actually just a really dark purple, and the flower, it actually grows black, and it's a petunia.
It grows black.
Yeah, so when it's fully alive, it's actually darker than this.
Really?
Yeah, like it kind of lightens up a little.
That's so surprising.
They're so pigmented, but yeah, they're so hard to find because most people aren't gonna grow black flowers. But every once in a while, I'll find them or I'll try to grow them. And with blue flowers, sometimes I'll find like light flowers or like dyed flowers, which look they're cool and all, but. And then so I grew pansies. I have a bunch of pansies in my garden right now. And one of the second art pieces I created, the whole background, they're all flowers from my garden, just different blue ones. And if you look, there's a little lamp, and all the flowers going up to the lamp start to turn a little more yellow. It's the same flower and it's from the same plant. Mm-hmm. And funny story with that one actually, I was trying to grow blue flowers, and they were right next to my yellow flowers. Now they were having some cross-pollination,
right.
And my blue flowers were turning yellow, and I was so upset. I was getting so mad.
Really?
I planted you to be blue, and now your center is yellow. Like, what am I gonna do with you?
Oh my god!
So I ended up using that to make it look like the lamp was glowing. So as the flowers became more
yellow,
you're
so cool! Oh my god!
As the flowers became more yellow, I brought them closer to the lamp. So then it looks like it's glowing. So yeah, I could use those things in flowers. And there's so many little characteristics, little things in flowers that I didn't notice. Like even just like a little freckle on a flower, I can use as something. Like there was a koi fish picture I made for my brother. And the center of the flower was brown, so I used that for the eye of the koi fish. Most of the time for like those, I'll sometimes cut flower petals to be like the right shape, which is where like dark ones really come in handy. But I do keep one thing consistent. Whenever there's like a little sparkle in the eye, I use a baby's breath flower because they can grow so small. But it's for one of the bird ones I made, one of the more recent ones. That one was one of the smallest pieces. It was about the same size as this, just a little more rectangular. But usually my canvas is like 2 feet by 3 feet. So just so I can get them more detailed. Mm-hmm. So for smaller ones, I struggle because I need smaller flowers. So I would be going there with like tweezers, trying not to breathe.
Right.
Because like I breathe wrong and like the little flower in the eye just is gonna fall somewhere else. So at that time, my art is a little less relaxing. But I think all artists have that when they're like moments where they're like, okay.
Oh man,
I need to take a step back.
Yes. I feel like for me, it's never been relaxing to make art. Never. Maybe when I was a kid, but if it was relaxing, I don't remember it. Yeah, it's never been relaxing in my life. It's always just been your tweezer moments where I'm like, I hate this. But for whatever reason, it's so important to make. I don't know.
So how do you make it?
Oh, no one's ever asked me that question before.
Really?
Yes. I don't know. I'd like to think that God knew I was going to be an artist, and so he lit this fire in me to paint, but he forgot to tell me why.
Or maybe you're still figuring that out.
Maybe I am. Yeah, I don't know. I got my degree in this now, so I feel like I should have figured it out by now.
We got our whole lives.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I didn't even go to school initially for this. I remember in high school, I was homeschooled for 5 years. And all throughout those 5 years, I only did art. I mean, my mom really didn't watch us too much. And I had a little makeshift art studio in our garage, and all I did was paint and draw and journal and write and, I mean, everything self-expression that I could. I did that for like 5 years, honestly.
How do you think that changed you?
Ooh. I think it was always innate. I don't know if it really changed me as much as it was an outlet for me, and it was something that I've always been able to do because that time of my life was a pretty dark one, and I think it was my way to be productive during a time where it's like, okay, I'm homeschooled, but I'm not being educated, and I'm not like being watched, and I'm not, whatever, so how can I be productive with my time? But as a kid, you don't really think those things in full thoughts. It's more like a subconscious thing where it's like, okay, I gotta do something, and I've gotta express myself in some way. So that's how I did it. And then I went to high school for the first time in 10th grade. And I took my first real art class. And it's actually kind of funny. I remember taking the art class and being like, this is so awesome after the first thing. And then I finished the class and I didn't get an A in the class because the teacher didn't believe in giving A's. She's like, all artwork is subjective and nobody can get an A because art can never be perfect.
She's like, don't worry, guys. You guys tried, but you will never be good at it.
And my parents were dead set on us having all A's, and so I never took another art class in high school.
I understand that.
Yeah, so I was a big theater kid, which I do think theater changed me, just because it gave me another form of expression that I never really tried. Yeah, and then I went to college for neurology, psychology. For 2 years I did that, and then as a joke, I had run out of all of my electives, and I signed up in my little grad planner. I was like, what would it look like if I was an artist? What would my schedule look like as an art major? And I plugged it in, and I was like, dream schedule. This looks so good. This is my dream schedule. And I plugged, literally, without thinking of how much time I had wasted, money I had wasted, And I was paying for college all by myself, and so it was work of my time and I had wasted. I clicked the change major button, and I literally never looked back. Yeah, so anyway, I've always thought art's so important, and I think painting is one medium that I'm good at in the art world. I've tried writing, and I've tried a little bit of sculpture, and I've tried ceramics, and I've tried a lot of forms of being an artist, but I think painting is the closest I'm gonna get to being a professional in any of those fields. Yeah, so I wish it was a more romantic journey, but I guess I'm still on that journey.
True.
Yeah.
Is it the medium you enjoyed the most?
I don't know. In college, I took printmaking,
Oh.
and I loved printmaking so much. I loved it. I wanted to change my major to printmaking, but I thought, when I graduate, what am I gonna do? Pay for a printmaking studio for the rest of my life? How am I gonna make this work? So I thought that art was one where I could find success, or painting was one where I could find success in it. Or I shouldn't say success, but financial success.
Yeah, that is a hard thing with artists, especially nowadays. We talk about starting artists.
Yes. But I don't even feel like it's a bad thing. I think it's okay that that's why certain people go into certain things. And I know so many artists who didn't go into art as their main gig, their main field. And I think that's great. I think that's fine. It's all just finding ways to express ourselves in meaningful ways,
And also, I know for some artists, including myself, it can be so hard to do commissions or stuff like that. I'm not always in an art mood. More often than not, unless it's a project I want to work on.
Yeah.
So I would hate to have something I love turn into something I hate. I'd hate for one of my hobbies to turn into work for me.
Yeah.
Which I think is I don't know. I do this more for fun, and if other people like it, I'm like, okay, that's cool, and me too. But and there's not that's fine. You don't have to.
Yeah, I think that's super important. And I just love what you said about being able to keep it I feel like I can't use a better word than childlike. It's a bad way to say it, but it's in my mind. Yeah, just taking the pressure off and being able to be creative and just create for the sake of
Yeah, that's what I'm
creating.
Hold on, that's what makes me. I love art more when I don't care. When I don't know, when I'm just making it because I want to make it.
Absolutely. And I would say every piece, at least I've ever made, has always been better when that pressure is off and you're just creating from your heart. Have you ever been in a situation where you're making a piece and you start to get stressed out about it, or how do you
someone
cope?
for somebody, and if they know I'm making it for them, and they're like, "Oh, how are you doing?" I'm like, "I haven't worked on that much."
Right.
Or I was doing one commissioned piece, and I kept forgetting about it. Like I was busy with like just avoiding it, and I didn't want to just like do it rushed, and I was like waiting to be in the mood, and I felt the lady was so patient.
Yeah, how do you do that? Because waiting to be in the mood is so real, and I feel like it's not even, I don't know, like, you know, in art school you can't just wait to be in the mood, but then my pieces were worse. And so it's like, I can't be in a bad mood and make a good piece. It's just not gonna turn out. How do you deal with something like that?
I go outside. It helps a lot. But also, like, I think it reminds me that, like, I don't know, there's, like, if my talent isn't just my own, like, it's, I don't know, like, it could be taken. And, like, I think that's also what helps me sometimes get back into art, is because I know that you aren't always able to do it. Like, when I'm older, who knows? Like, I might have arthritis, I might not be able to hold a brush very well anymore. Or something, like, for dance, I didn't know that I would have to stop dancing. And, like, you know, I still dance, but it's different now.
Right.
Like, I won't be able to express myself in the same way. I won't be able to do all the contemporary I was doing before. And part of me wishes I did more then. So I think sometimes remembering that and going back to the moment and being like, I don't want to wait, I want to do this while I can. And you know, maybe I will be able to do art all my life. But, you know, if I'm not, I want to make use of the time that I can be doing this.
Talking to you is like painful almost, just because it's so real. Everything you're saying is like so true, and it like hits in the most
Okay, that's not what I heard when you
spots.
were like, talking to you.
Girl, I'm talking
painful.
to you like, get out, girl. No,
Like, it's painful to talk to you like I know, girl. I hear myself.
stop. No, it's so true. Again, just especially with this whole painting, for me, at least, I've been grappling with this. Oh my god. I'm telling you, like, just speaking to you right now is ridiculous. Because, yeah, one of the huge things I've been thinking about is, will I become the version of my grandmother that I knew, where I can't paint, I can't do any of the things that, you know, make me wake up in the morning, and yet it's so difficult for me to want to paint sometimes, because I'm like, what's the point if it's all just going to end up for naught, you know?
Well, I don't think any of that is for naught. Like, even, like, I spent so much time learning how to be a contemporary dancer. I spent so much time working on that flexibility, working on that flexibility. I can't even slouch now. Is it a waste of time that I learned that? No, not at all, because I learned much during that time. I spent much time learning more about myself, that am I able to use any of those skills that I spent time on? No, like, if I could go back, I wouldn't do anything differently.
Really?
No. I didn't think anything in my life, like, I don't know. I try to live my best without regrets. I'm not saying I've done everything right in my life. In fact, quite the opposite. But, I don't know, like, I'm happy with where I'm at right now. It doesn't mean I don't need to grow, because I most definitely do, but I don't think I would wish to trade any of my past experiences for anything, because I think I'm where I need to be right now.
And it brought you joy, dancing.
Of course. It was another way of expression. I didn't do as much art then, so after that it got me more into art, which I think even if you can't do art or can't do something will always pop up that you will be able to do. Because, I don't know. Like, I've seen videos where, like, people are like, there was a girl, she doesn't have a hand, and she paints, like, holding the brush in her mouth. Like, people find ways. People find ways to be creative. Even if, like, you can't do it, or, like, you can't, I don't know, I can't always paint for long times because my back will start to hurt and I'll have to, like, lay down for a bit. So I have to do things periodically a lot of times. But being able to find ways to express yourself, being able to find ways to do that, like, you will always have something. Like, yeah, like, even, like, Helen Keller, like, she was still able to express herself in ways. And, like, almost when I, like, start to feel bad for myself and I'm like, oh, well, I can't do this, I can't do that, I'm like, it's not like I can't do anything. Like, I don't think we're ever at a state where we can't do anything. It'll feel that way, sure. like we will, I don't know, we can go far down self-pity, but I don't know, when we realize how much we still have, what we still can do, like, I don't know, you can do a lot. Like, I worked at a physical therapy clinic, and I don't know, it was so often where people were just accepted their fate and they're like, well, I can't do anything now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what do you mean? they're like, I have so much time, I'm retired, but I have a knee replacement and I can't do anything. I'm like, you can read, you can write, you can do art. They're like, yeah, but why would I do that? I'm gonna die anyway. Exactly, you're not gonna be here forever. Don't you want to do something? Yes. So it was kind of fun because I would do like reading things with some of my patients. I was always behind on them because I was reading so many books and I'm not the most motivated person, so I was getting distracted. they were very patient with me. But yeah, just being able to talk to other people. Like I think even just this like talking now, it's like while we're working on stuff, it's really cool to be able to kind of express that and have that use this like the way we connect with people to connect with people.
Yeah. It is such a healthy mindset. Yeah, it's just hard.
Oh, for sure. Life isn't meant to be easy.
For character growth. Right.
Yeah, builds character.
Right.
I find myself saying that a bit too much though, and which isn't always great because I feel like I say that for me it's one thing, but like I said I would like babysit and I would I'd say that for me like I trip, I fall on my face. That's not like I show you down like it builds character.
Yeah.
And then the kid I'm watching they trip and fall on their face and their sister's like builds character. Like oh I take it back. Don't listen to me. The kids really do repeat everything they hear. It's just amazing. I really gotta watch what I say and watch.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, I just love that. I do. I think that's so important, so wise. Do you think that mindset has fueled your work?
I think that mindset's fueled my life. It's changed a lot in me about me, how I view the world, how I view.
Have you always viewed the world this way?
No, absolutely not. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
I came out of the womb and I was like, yes, I have an idea of anything. No, of course not. No, and I'm still figuring this out. Like I feel like the more I learn, the more I realize I don't know anything. But I think, I don't know, what's helped me come up with like my mindset of the world is looking back and reflection through art, through other things, which is why I think it's so important.
I agree. And it's not just for us, right?
No, of course not.
Yeah, it's for those around us to be influenced by our actions, our creations, our mindsets.
Life isn't meant to be lived alone.
I like that. Can you tell me a little bit about this piece that you're working on?
Well, I was talking about swans, and I don't know, like I said, I was rereading Orpheus, which reminds me of Sick the Swan. I don't know if you're familiar with that story, it's a cute one. I mean, it's a tragedy, so not all that cute.
Right.
But like, it's a cute love story. But it's, so Orpheus and Eurydice, they fell in love, and he was like, son of a muse or something. And so he was a great singer. But Eurydice, I think she was bit by a snake, and so she passed. And he was singing, and everyone around him was so sad because he was singing so sad. All the birds, they were like, we gotta do something about this guy. He's making everybody sad, and all the trees are sad.
Oh my goodness.
We gotta do something. So for that, like they were like, let's help him get out into the world. Maybe he can talk to them, and we can clear some things up. So he went down there, and he goes to Hades, and he sings to Hades and Persephone, and like. But it's so sad, and Persephone's like, you're giving him back his wife, like you're bringing her back. And he's like, oh, I can't really just do that. So he said that you can have her back, but when you go back up to the world, you can't turn back. You can't see if she's following behind you. And so if you turn around, she won't be able to come back. And so they start walking, and he doesn't hear her.
I know that boy turns around.
Of course he does. That's how it goes. But, well, yeah, because he didn't hear her, and then he sees her, and, she's lost. But, and, they can't be reunited until later. But, and, I don't know, like, it, just something like that, like, it makes, like, it realizes, for me, like, how much doubt can do to you. Because he knew that if he turned around, that there would be no possible way for getting her back. If he never turned around, even if he did doubt, he would have still been able to have more of a chance. Like statistically speaking, like he knew if he turned around, he'd have no chance. But if he went, even if he was tricked by Hades, he would still have had some chance.
Right.
So it makes you wonder, like, why did he turn? It was because of doubt, because he let that come over him and control him, which, you know, it's something happens to all of us. So I think just trusting and, I don't know, a little more than yourself is, I don't know, what I was kind of thinking of. And again, I don't know. And that's associated with the swan because it's turning back and looking at its other, because it's supposed to represent Orpheus. And swans are just kind of cool creatures, especially when it comes like they mate for life, and usually when if their mate dies, then they will sometimes they'll fly up as high as they can and then just let themselves fall.
Really?
Yeah, because if they don't have that connection, they don't see any worth in their life, which, you know, is not my perspective. I think people should have, but I think, I don't know, to see that sort of like value that what animals put in each other. It's kind of like, yeah, it's so simple, but that's what makes their life worth living for them. And it makes, I don't know, it just makes me think a little more like, why am I living life? Like, what am I doing this for? Like, why do you get up out of bed in the morning? Like, it's, I don't know, like if it's for something material, for something that's not gonna last forever, then you won't keep getting up. But if you, I don't know, if you hold on to something, even just a little love that you have for someone, it can change your life. Like, even if you just love someone, like just one person, and you love them so genuinely, it'll change everything in your life.
It seems like you have a lot of symbolism in your pieces, even down to just petals, you know, being something that keeps you in the presence, and yet in the present, but you preserve them to last a lifetime. Can you tell me some of the iconography that you've used in your pieces? Maybe things you look for, maybe things you're like, oh, I have to put this in, or I did in this specific piece, and, you know, meant a lot to you.
Well, I think, I don't know, symbolism is just an easy way to kind of express things that can have so many interpretations, like experiences. Like, in one of the pieces I did, I had a lamp in it, and for that, in the picture, the girl, she was looking over her shoulder, and it was kind of to show like the last time you're like looking back at something before you like move on. And it's and the reason I had the light in that is because I wanted to show kind of like hope, like that there's always something in front of you, like, and you know, once she makes it to like that line, there's always a line of them, so like you just kind of use that to make it through your next steps. So that's why I kind of had that in that piece. And I think always whenever I'm making a piece, even like throughout the thing, I start to wonder, I'm like, why am I doing this, and why am I doing that, and why?
I love that question. Yes.
But yeah, like I think especially for like pieces where you're creating like all the composition and everything, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna put this here. Well, what about this? Like I'm working on a painting right now, and it's just like me and my fiance feeding some ducks. But but I wanted to like put so many things in that are things that we love, or things that mean a lot to me, and for that's like one of my favorite things that we do together. So for that, I wanted to put a lot of things that kind of reflected that and reflected things in our relationship. So like he's reading a book, we do that all the time together, especially for like I'm feeding ducks, he'll be like reading off to the side. And also just like ducks and geese, because those are usually at the park where we're feeding them. Or plants, I have lavender, that's his favorite flower, and I have lamp which is my favorite flower. And just little things. Like I also started thinking about putting like little flower crowns, because I love making flower crowns. When we go on hikes, like he's very patient with me on hikes. I take forever because, you know, I'm always stopping to pick flowers for this. But I also make flower crowns. Like, I don't know, just little things.
Because isn't that what's so cool about mediums like ours, where you can just add things to it to make it more significant? Yes.
And there's always something you can do to be different, or like add something. Like there's always ways to grow, and I think that's something amazing about art, is you're never finished. You're never like at the point where you're done.
Amen. Yes.
Like, I would be to the end of my life and I'll still be like, oh, I could have grown so much more as an artist. Like, I'm never done. Like,
Or
it's
down
never
to the
really-
piece. I could have changed this about the piece. I could have done this
Or
differently.
like, there's always so much more to create, so much more to, like it's a never-ending thing. This is why artist block is so funny, because we're like, there's nothing but paint. There is nothing I can do that I haven't done already. And then we just go outside and we're like, I have never done any of this.
Yes.
Yeah, just like being able to open your eyes a little can be so difficult, and I'm terrible at it.
That is too real. That's one of my favorite parts about art, though, and I've always said this, is like, to me, especially as a painter, what's the difference between the photo and the painting? When the photo first came, or the camera first came out, everyone's like, it's AI to regular, just digital artists now. They're like, this is gonna render my job obsolete. But why did it not? Because people crave something that handmade art gives that machines can't. And it's not just like human touch, but it's the ability to have iconography in your pieces, the ability to like change things and emphasize certain things. And I even think in photography you can do that with filters and with lighting and with movement and and that is its art in its own
Absolutely,
right.
and like how they pick what they're going to take pictures of. Like my sister, she's a photographer, and she does amazing. Like I look at her work every time, and I'm like, that is so cool. Like it creates a whole aesthetic, like just a whole vision that
Absolutely.
you wouldn't think about. And a lot of that inspires me to do art sometimes. Like I just look at it and I'm like, this is so beautiful. Like such a beautiful concept, the way like Lily's repeating colors. Like it is such an art too.
Yes.
And yeah, like it is different than like handmade art, but at the same time, there's still something that has it. Like I think it still has the thing that handmade art has. I think it just has it differently. You know, the same thing like, I don't know, like pictures on a phone, like they have a lot to people. Same with pictures on a camera, same with pictures on a canvas.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like how if you have, like a clay model of something, or like there's a statue, you can draw a picture of it, and why would you do that if there's a statue?
Right.
Like it's to view it differently. Photography views it differently. Paintings view it differently. Views it in a different light.
I love that, and you're absolutely right. Yeah, it's true, and it's not like you can't add things to your photograph to make it mean
But
something.
they pick what goes in the photograph.
Right.
It's the same as picking something that goes in the painting. Like the process is different, but I feel like the concept is the same.
You're absolutely right. Oh, I love that. And isn't that just a testament to everything is art in its own right? I will say this until the day I've died. I die. I've always said this. Everything is art. You just have to look at it through the right lens.
Anything
Right.
could be art. Like not many, like so many simple things. Other people will see something beautiful in. Like I don't know. Like I met this one lady recently, and she'll save everything from day-to-day life to make some like modern art piece, and like she shows me it, and it's so cool. Like this girl was saving lint from her lint trap.
Oh my
And I was
gosh.
like, what are you doing this for? And she's like, oh, anything can be used and anything can be used. And, she was actually doing some flower art too. Hers was a little different. She would like put it in like a food processor, like chop it all up.
Oh my gosh.
It was so cool. Like it's so cool to see how like different people decide to do different things.
Yes, because we all have something to say. We all have different experiences, different mindsets, like you've been saying this whole time, things we can learn from each other. And it's so important. And I think it is our job as artists and as humans to share those experiences in meaningful ways.
Yeah. Something you can learn from anyone, even if it's what not to do, as my mom said.
My dad always tells me, this is, just a different way of saying it, but he'd always go, Sarah, it's good to learn from your mistakes, but it's better to learn from other people's mistakes.
I'll learn from them all.
Right.
Always something we can learn. We just gotta stop and look.
Well, this time has flown by so quickly. Thank you for coming over. I feel so enriched by our conversation. You just had so many good thoughts. Where can people find you?
Just on Instagram. It's called Rose's Petal Paintings.
Sweet. Well, thank you so much for coming, and I think that's it.
Thank you for having me.
pulled it up.
No.
No, like Rose's petal paintings, but I like wanted to be sure.
That's so funny.
Yeah, we're gonna have to redo that.
You good?
I'm like,
She said, good question. When you know, let me find out.